r/NoSleep. Posted by Reddit user RisingMac. I got a chain letter mentioning mirror people, and of course I ignored it. I shouldn't have. Finale. I can see them start to move in my mirror, and I panic. I hear loud music coming from the room nearby. I check it and find the door is cracked, so I duck in and find a full-blown party. "What's up, man?" a guy shouts in my face as soon as I enter. "You lost, Mac?" another guy asks gruffly. "I'm just hiding out from the mirror people." I couldn't believe I said that out loud. "Fucking mirror people. Fuck 'em," I heard someone say. I almost got my hopes up that maybe this guy knew something about it. But after he stood out and let out a woo, I realized he was so confoundingly drunk, he probably didn't even know who he was. I suddenly had an idea. I made my way through the room to the back where the balcony was. The second floor was only about a 10-foot drop. I could easily go down if I hung out from the balcony. I said a few excuse me's to the people on the balcony and hoisted myself up and over. I dangled as far down as I could and dropped. Wasn't bad at all. I could hear muffled voices above me asking each other, did that seriously just happen? I surveyed the area. There were goddamn mirror people everywhere. I almost broke down. I wanted to start crying. Was this the rest of my fucking life? Ducking away from these fucking mirror people forever? At that point, about 12 stupid mirror people started to move towards me with their stupid-ass blank stares, so I knew I had to move. I hopped back on the kid's bike. Thank God some drunk asshole didn't steal it, and started riding back home. In case you were wondering, it's quite difficult riding a bike when you have to look down a mirror in order to see if the way in front of you is clear. It took forever with all the direction changes I had to make to avoid mirror people, but I was almost home when I got an idea. If they still needed to open doors and don't seem to be able to get past the locked door, shouldn't I be safe in my house? My house isn't that big at all. Will they materialize inside, like they seem to be doing out here? I dumped the kid's bike back in his backyard and started to return home. I was super tired. All this evading and escaping mirror people was taking its toll. I tried to take the most direct route back to my house. I was only a block away when I saw what seemed like an entire legion of mirror people in the middle of the street and on the sidewalk. I ended up having to go about 3 blocks east out of my way before start doubling back. I rounded a corner and saw an old man sitting in a wheelchair with an oxygen tank hooked up to it in my mirror. There's no way this could be a mirror person. Sure enough, he wasn't there in real life, only in the mirror. That seemed like a pretty complex and specific form to take. Did they just randomly take whatever shape they wanted? It wasn't until I got home that that question was answered. I hopped my fence into the backyard. It was clear. I was almost to my back door when I did one last sweep and found a mirror person standing next to the fence gate. I almost dropped my mirror in horror. It was my friend. He was a mirror person now. Same piercing, emotionless gaze directed at me. I gave him a tearful "I'm sorry" as I went inside and locked the door. I did a complete sweep of the downstairs and there were no mirror people. My upstairs only consists of my bedroom. So, after verifying there were no mirror people up there, I barricaded the door and went up to my room. I had windows on 3 walls of my bedroom. In real life, my neighborhood was deserted, as it should be at almost 3:30 in the morning. But when I looked in my mirror, it was like a neighborhood block party outside. There were mirror people in my backyard. There were mirror people on the street out front. There were mirror people in my neighbor's back and front yards as well. A couple of houses down across the street, there was a mirror person on the roof. They were everywhere. I couldn't stop thinking about that last line of the chain. They are everywhere. I laid down in my bed, eyes starting to tear up. I needed to think this was all a bad dream. I needed to wake up somehow. I needed to force myself to wake up out of this horrible nightmare. This is the real world. Crap like this doesn't exist in the real world. Somehow, despite waiting for the sound of breaking glass or splintering wood from my front door at any second, I fell asleep. I slept hard. I don't know how, but I did. I woke up at 9:45 in the morning, almost groggy like I'd been drugged. I reoriented myself and thought, Jesus Christ, that dream was fucked up. It was a dream, wasn't it? I saw my ex-girlfriend's old mirror on my bedside stand. That shouldn't be there if it was a dream. Fuck. It wasn't a dream. I went to my front window and looked out onto the street. A few cars drove by, but otherwise, everything looked to be in order. I used my mirror to look down at the street. No mirror people. I looked out another window. No mirror people. The last window was the same. Not a mirror person in sight. I went downstairs and secured the area. No mirror people were inside. I ate breakfast and called off work. I needed to collect myself after the previous night's fiasco. I didn't trust that mirror people were really gone. I decided I needed to get to the store and stock up on some supplies. If the mirror people came back, I could at least hold up in my house. I went out my front door and did a sweep. Nothing. I started to head over to the side street where my car was parked, and my heart sank. In the real life, the way was of course clear, but looking in my mirror, there were 3 mirror people, about a block north of where I was. Fucking scumbags. I wonder if they purposely gave me false hope. Anyway, I was able to make it to my car, luckily. Driving was even harder than riding a bike. I think I got honked at more in 10 minutes than I did in my entire life before. I shop at the supercenter, and there are 2 entrances. One for grocery, and one for GM. Of course, the grocery side is blocked by mirror people, just standing there staring blankly as the lucky people who aren't aware of them just walk right by. I evade by going to the GM side, and there's a mirror person inside the entrance as well. I notice people looking at me like I'm some kind of dumbass using this mirror and walking around erratically. Oh well, fuck 'em. I try to fake evade again and go back to the grocery side. Thank God it was clear. I quickly realized the terrible mistake I made. This place is way too busy. There are real people everywhere, which is going to make picking out mirror people a little bit harder. As long as I can pick out the dead stares, I'll be able to tell who's who. I'm going to have to make sure I come at night when there's less people. I make it to the first aisle, and in real life, there's about 6 people in it, doing their shopping. I use my mirror and it shows 9 people in the aisle. Fuck. I quickly realize these grocery aisles are going to be just like the apartment hallway. I can't go down any of them because mirror people might box me in if I get into the middle of the aisle and they appear on the ends. I'm going to have to do my shopping strictly at the end caps of these aisles, and whatever center aisle specials there are. People are once again giving me strange looks, since I'm constantly stopping and changing direction. If they only knew how fucked up my life was now. Once I was done, I of course found mirror people standing outside the door. I turned around and went to the other exit, then turned around again. I must have looked like I was insane. Finally, one of the ways was clear and I got to my car. The parking lot was littered with mirror people, so I had to take it slow. I got honked at least another 3,000 times, but oh well. I got home and took all my cold stuff in first, in case mirror people prevented me from getting back out to the car. They did at first, but I evaded and pretended to go down the street, and they disappeared. New mirror people appeared in front of me, so I turned around and got back home safely. So, this is my life now. It's been nearly a month, and I think it's finally settled in that this is my new reality for now. I'm on the run from mirror people, and I will probably remain on the run forever. Until I can find a way to get rid of them. They aren't going anywhere. I tried Googling mirror people, but all that's on there is some foreign band called Mirror People. I can't be the only one who's never forwarded that stupid chain letter. Maybe I'm the only one the mirror people are after that is still alive. It's a harsh reality, but it's mine now. It takes me much longer to get things done since I'm constantly having to evade them, but luckily I have a job where I'm consistently moving around, so nobody really notices my movements are kind of erratic while I'm evading fucking mirror people at work. I bought the smallest mirror I could find, and it's easier to conceal and hide, so people don't really see me using it. Grocery shopping sucks now too. There's only so much available in the center aisle and the end caps at a store. But I'm surviving. I think eventually I'll end up going completely insane someday, after eating the same damn dinners every night, and having 10-minute drives to the store or work take an hour. But for right now, I'm making it work. I still think about that goddamn chain letter. They are everywhere. I have mental breakdowns every now and then. Nothing that alcohol doesn't take care of. I check outside my house every night before bed. Seems like more mirror people show up down the street every night. They've never once tried getting in, though. That's the only thing keeping me halfway sane. Having a safe house. One of these nights, where I totally crack, my neighbors can probably hear my muffled voice as I scream at the top of my lungs. Why didn't I just forward that fucking chain letter?